So like I was saying, I would have probably waited to see some more proof of concept and see all this chopping around here. So we know now we've got little a better sense of where the top of the range is. And it's looking like it's like right around here. So I mean, yeah, so this rip, you could have sold that rip, especially if we're breaking down the 9 and the 10. But again, you got to be ready to go ahead and get out at VWAP, because remember, you can use VWAP as like intraday support and or resistance. And look what we did. We broke down the 9 and the 10 and also the 120 for a second. Came down here to VWAP and bounced. And noticed where we bounced from. Okay, so off the open, we kind of washed out a little bit, consolidated, put in a bottom, and then bounced. Bounced up here, and this is where people sold into the move at. So like we kind of rejected here. So they sold into the move here, took profits or whatever. Whoever's playing the bounce, whoever's buying the dip just for a quick bounce to the upside, they're selling into this right here, this strength right here. So this is a level, and then the next candle, the body opened right here. So you know this is a level. So as we're selling off here and we bounce off VWAP, we're bouncing off this level. See that level right there? I guess like the 139.55, 139.50, 55, right around this level. You know it's a significant level because the wicks here, they sold into it. Then it kind of became support, bounced up, ran off, rejected, sold off, came back down, bounced off of here, bounced off that level again. They tried to sell off, they bought it back up. Also notice it's bouncing off the 9 EMA. Same thing here, bouncing off the 9 EMA. But this is kind of a candle of indecision. But notice the next one, bouncing off the 9 EMA and also crossing over the 120, heading back up to the top of the range. So as we're selling off here, if you sold this rip, you gotta be looking at these levels and be taking into consideration that we bounced off this level, they sold into this level, then we bounced off that level, all right, sold off, then we bounced off the level again, all right, and then also you got VWAP right here. So these are things that you need to be paying attention to. But again, let's see how the price action develops. And look, around here is that top of the range area. Looking at all this chop here and this long wick, I would have been looking to sell this rip. And then when I see all these red prints, oh, wait, let's see. And again, I was trading Apple on this day. I can't remember specifically exactly where I took my trades at, but I'm just like going back over it. And again, a little later on, this is the 1 minute. So notice, this is where I was saying, yeah, sell that rip, but be wary of this level here with the bounce off of VWAP. We bounce back up, back to the top of the range. All right. And remember how I would have been saying, you know, looking at this candle right here, this volume, decent volume, it's red, a lot of selling. Look at this long wick on top. And then we have kind of a candle of indecision, right? Trying to bounce. Then we bounced up off the 9 EMA. But again, if you put on the trade at the right level, even if you sold the rip like here, or if you sold this rip, because remember I was saying, yeah, this would have confirmed that it was okay to sell this rip, right? So if you put on that trade at the right level, then you have a decent risk to reward. So even though you're bearish and you have puts, the price action is chopping around, right? Even though you see it bounce, you know that there's resistance up here. And again, if your risk to reward is right, you're putting on the trade up here. So even if we bounce up here, you're not freaking out because you're still in the green here. And you know, as I suspected, yeah, we're gonna have some volatility. You know, it's fighting. People are trying to buy the dip or whatever. It's trying to break out. But ultimately, look at all these wicks. That wick, that wick, that wick. Even though we have this bullish candle right here, Look at this wick. They're selling into it. Just like they sold into this. Sold into this. And then from there, we just went ahead and broke down and washed out to the bottom of the range. So again, valid thesis. You know, sell the rip. So again, you could have sold the rip from here. As long as you're getting in at the right level and you have a decent risk to reward, even if we do bounce up here, you're not freaking out. Like your stop is, you're going to stop out. You're not freaking out. You're going to stop out if this candle is bullish and keeps grinding up and breaks above this wick. That's when I'll be looking to stop out. But if we never get back up there, I'm cool with it. And again, top of the range. Look, we're just playing the ranges. That's all. Like, yeah, I have a bearish outlook on a higher time frame. But like I said, intraday, I'm not discriminating. I'm just trading with the trend. Like I said, the trend is your friend. And right here, sell that rip. Yeah, it's chopping around, trying to bounce, but dead cat bounce. You can tell by all the wicks on top. And then the ultimate, you know, like depending on your risk tolerance, I mean, the ultimate stop would be like above this, like up here above this freaking wick right here. But this never made it back there. So again, we could have sold that rip. Ultimately, look, worked out perfect. Washed all the way back down to the bottom of the range.